Welcome and welcome back. I am your host Shay, and this is Shay's Unfiltered Podcast. Tonight, guys, we're about to talk about relationship bonds. When it comes to love, it's not just about big moments. Sometimes it's the little everyday things that truly bond a couple. But experiences to communication, today we're about to talk about heart of what makes couples stay connected, even when life gives us a busy challenge. Emotional connection. This is a tough. True bonds happen when couples feel emotionally safe and supported. It's about vulnerability, sharing thoughts, and feeling about everything about each other, doing both the highs and the lows. A couple that can talk openly about their fears, their dreams, even every day, in between life. Worrying about shared experiences, whether it's traveling, overcoming challenges, trying to navigate just regular life, guys. It's a lot of moments where we don't get to experience because we so caught in our feelings. We gotta get out of our feelings, guys. We gotta think about other things, other people's feelings, just life as a whole. Trying to figure out day-to-day moments, our shared experiences, trying to take home our trials and tribulations, that kind of don't work, guys. We got to figure out what it is that bonds us to our person. And for now, we're about to list everything. Communication. What is it? Communication is like a bond that you share with somebody, your inner dark, deep secrets, your good times, your bad times, your healthy ways of doing things as a couple, respectfully. Having a strong, long lasting relationship, trying to resolve issues that you may have that you don't experience with anybody else. For example, couples that try to disagree without disrespect. Disrespect will not get you nowhere. Each other making things personal when you're not trying to hear a person. It takes two ears and two mouths to figure out your problems. A physical connection. Physical connections could be crucial sometimes. It's not just about sex, it's about simple touches, holding hands, cuddling, and even just hugging. Sometimes you have to show affection to your partner to receive the affection back. Little things go a long way. How about that? Supporting each other's growth. A strong bonds allow you both to figure out as individuals where you are in life, trying to figure out or even encouraging each other to get to reach your personal goals or your passions. It may be something that you want to do that you may not think that your partner is passionate about, but you are. And how you get there is by bonding, figuring out, taking the time to take a step back, and watching how your partner moves or what they support and how they support it. A couple that supports you and watch your career moves and your hobbies and your self-care and staying connected emotionally will get you a long way. Fun time, having group sessions, car karaoke, bonding through games, bonding through regular life situations, making each other important in that moment. It matters. Even enjoying each other's love language. Figuring out what a person loves and how they love it goes a long way. We're going to dive into love languages real quick. Words of affirmation. Some people don't even know what that means. It's about learning somebody's love language through verbal expressions. Love, appreciation, encouragement, compliments, kind words, affirming how a person feels. That's all it is. That's all words of affirmation is. And if your partner loves words of affirmation, it shouldn't be hard for you to express how that person feels because they're telling you. Examples. I'm proud of you, babe. I'm proud of what you're doing. You look amazing today. How you feel. Those are words of affirmation. Why does it matter? Because that's your partner's words of affirmation. They want you to give them words that make them feel good. Acts of service. What is it? For example, you speak loud. Your actions speak louder than your words. Doing some things that's helpful for a person, they'll appreciate it more than you just sitting there trying to do it. Cleaning up the house, running errands, showing love and care. Again, a prime example. Make them breakfast. Clean and wash their laundry. Do things that they're not asking you to do because that's what they want. It's acts of service. Buying them flowers. Picking up, opening their doors. It's acts of service. Why does it matter to them? Because that's like they like it. They'll feel love when you help ease their load. Receiving gifts. We ask ourselves, why does that matter? Materialism. It's all about the thought and the effort that you put into a gift. For example, some people like for you to think about their birthday. A lot of people celebrate their birthday nowadays. Just because gifts, that definitely matters in relationships. I don't know who you are. I don't know what year you've been in, but that matters right now. Definitely a just because gift will take you a long way. Again, why does that matter? Because a lot of people, they feel appreciated when you remember special occasion. Let's think about it. Quality time. For some, time spent together is like an ultimate bond for them. It's not just about them saying and being in the same room with you. It's about undivided attention and deep connection. Why? Because it goes a long way. A lot of people like the attention on them. For example, y'all could go on a walk together. Y'all could talk about different things while y'all on that walk. Y'all could take the walk to maybe get yourselves together. Having a tech-free dinner, talking to one another, figuring out different things about how they see life, what's going on from their day-to-day day. Some things matter when it comes to quality time. It could be just a minimal amount of time. It could be 5 minutes out of a day, and it'll mean a whole lot for a person. Think about it. Why does it matter? I told you. Because it's a person's love language. They feel truly loved when you spend an unintentional time with them. Quality time outside of that is a free distraction from everything. We're going to talk about physical touch. Physical touch. Wow. This is a deep one. Physical touch is like a key for some people. It's like a hug, a kiss, cuddling, all types of physical closeness. And it's kind of simple. You touch someone and they love it. You hug someone and they love it. Even a simple kiss on the cheek will suffice. Again, we ask ourselves, why does it matter? Because some people love language is physical touch. It's simple. It's a gesture, like a hug, like a kiss. It strengthens y'all bond together. All I can say is this. We are at a time where we are trying to figure out what it is that our partners need, what they want, what they sacrifice, what's their love language. You can see it through bonds. Bonds make a difference. We ask ourselves, what are bonds? At this point, bonds can be whatever you make it. Bonds in a relationship can make a big difference. It can take you from up to low, building a foundation of trust. Let's talk about trust. Trust in a relationship can build a big bond. What is it that y'all want? Trust can consist of many different things. A couple that knows they can rely on each other. A couple that knows they can share each other's goals and values. A couple that knows communication and emotional intimacy is a big thing. And we figure it out from there. Feeling emotional closes all of the gaps in a relationship for people that never had trust. It makes you vulnerable and it makes you open. For an example, a couple that can have heart to heart conversations without judgment and trying to figure out how they understand each other. Physical touch and affection. We ask ourselves, what is that? It's just a physical connection between two people that love each other, whether it's holding hands, cuddling, whether you're watching TV together, or even a simple kiss goodnight. Again, supporting each other through life challenges. A solid bond is strengthened by facing challenges together. If you can get through the most treacherous moment in your relationship with a person and figure out how do y'all cope and figure out what's the silver lining, that's a strengthened bond in your relationship. How do y'all make it? How do y'all even try to figure out where y'all supposed to go with each other from there? A physical bond, an emotional bond, anything that can bring you guys together. For example, have you ever thought about your relationships in the past and where it led you? If it didn't work, it wasn't meant for you. If you didn't strive in it, it wasn't meant for you. You figured out your current relationship and why you're there because you learned all the paths of what you didn't want and how you didn't want things to happen for you. A connection and a bond with your mate is important. Why is it important? Because it lies in your relationship now. How do you see things? Whether it's going to be built, whether it's from a friendship, whether it's out of love. I always say my relationships is built on how I see my friendships. Why? Because I treat my friendships just like I treat my relationships. I don't care who you are, how you are, or what you are. As long as you treat me with respect and love, I'm going to treat you with the same thing. As long as you treat me as an individual, I'm going to treat you with the same thing. I always tell my wife this. When we talk to each other, how I talk to you is how I expect you to talk to me. When we coerce with each other, I expect you to do the same thing with me. And when I'm in relationships, whether it's physical or emotional, it's the same thing I expect out of my friendships. There's a difference when you are in your relationship and you try to figure out, how is my partner treating me? Why are they treating me this way? It's because you allow it to happen. As long as you set that bond, it will never go away. You have to figure out what it is that you're accepting of and non-accepting. Like I told you in this previous episode, love languages matter. Why? Because it sets the foundation for your relationship. Nothing else matters at that point. Because guess what? The way you see things is the way it's going to happen. The way you perceive how a person's supposed to treat you, how a person's supposed to act, is how it's going to set the foundation for all your relationships in the upcoming future. No matter if, let's say, for example, you have a friend or you have, even if you in your relationship and you don't think that your partner is listening to you and you just go outside your relationship and you talk to somebody, figure out what it is that you're looking for. Is it a companion or is it just like a way for you to cope with what's going on with your day-to-day life? When you're confident about what you have going on, nothing else matters. You have to figure out which angle you're trying to go on with your relationship and with your friendship. And that's going to seal the deal for you. Nobody's going to make the way for your bonds but you. When it comes to me, I say this. I always tell my wife, my friendships is just like my relationship. If you can't reciprocate the same thing to me that I'm reciprocating to you, it's no need. We don't have anything. Because if you don't understand me, I don't understand you. If you don't understand my love languages, I don't understand you. Because that's where I set my foundation at. This is what I want. This is what I'm deserving of. And this is how I see things. And that's it. Outside of that, the respect comes when you gain it. So guess what? That means when you set the boundary for how people treat you, how people will want to treat you, or how you take things, that's going to set the foundation for your relationship. Nothing else matters outside of what you set for yourself. You are individuals just like anybody else. So when it comes to relationships and the bond that y'all guys share, you have to understand, set a foundation that's based upon your love languages. Because if you don't, you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. which is by yourself. Figure out what it is that you want to do for you and stand on it. Stand on it. Because guess what? Can't nobody live your life but you. Say it again. Can nobody live your life but you? You have to figure out what you want, how you want it, and what you perceive. Because can't nobody live your life for you but you. Thinking back on it, it's another thing too. Why is it that in relationships you don't feel that y'all could be individual? You are one person. You was born into a lifestyle or life amongst other people. So when you introduce to people, you got to figure out who you are and stand on it, what you come with, what your morale is. And guess what? Everything else got to work around it. It got to work around it. Because if it don't, you're going to end up by yourself. Because your way of thinking is only one way. You have to have an open mind in this world today. You have to be perceiving of things. You have to be accepting of things. Because if not, you will be by yourself. Say it with me. You will be by yourself. Because the way the world works now, there's different ways of thinking. There's different logics. There's different things that's going on in the world. So we have to adapt to what the world is around us, which is taking your bonds, taking your love languages, and implementing it into your relationship that you have now, whether it's friends or whether it's a relationship with your partner. For me, I came into a relationship broken. I had a lot of trauma. I had a lot of difficulty trying to express how I felt. I had a lot of difficulty trying to blend, families and trying to figure out how does that work and how do you make it work. Things of that nature. But guess what? When you take a step back and look at your situation, it's not really that bad. It's not. You have to coexist. And how you coexist is you take other people's lives and you figure out how it coincides with yours. Because even though you may have standards or may have ways of thinking, it might not work that way all the time. You might have to take a step back and say, let me see how things work with us instead of I. Because I don't work. There's no I before you. And that's what it is, because a lot of people think their way of seeing things, their way of doing things works. But sometimes it takes a we instead of a I. And that's just the things that I've learned being in my relationship and coexisting in a household where there's more than just me. There's more than just how I think. There's more than just how I feel. Because now it's how we feel, what we gonna do. What do we figure out? And that's where you got to get. Because if not, things are going to change real rapid for you. You have to get to a point where you understand your partner, their love language, how they express themselves, their opinion about things, how y'all express to each other to get to a point to where y'all can understand and bond. The key word is bonding. Because why? There's numerous of things we could bond over. It could be food. It could be movies. It could be playing games. It could be just praying together, living life, laying down, pillow talking, figuring out what it is that we need to do for us. But my only message is we have to figure out where we can coexist in the same room and figure out our relationship. And that's building a healthy relationship for the both of us. It's not just on you, it's on the both of us. It's not just on I, it's on the both of us. Figuring out what we think about each other, that's another big difference. Because getting into a relationship with somebody, you don't know what you're getting into. People change day to day. It could be a numerous amount of things that could change for a person. I.e., for examples, it could be how you eat food, how you tolerate things, how you cook, how you do laundry, how you sleep, how you cope with just everyday life. Even working on a job is hard for us guys. We have to figure out where we coexist with our partners without making it a difficult situation. Struggling is not the thing no more. Now it's understanding. Let's say the words. Struggling is not a thing no more. Understanding is a thing. We have to figure out how we can coexist with our partners and understand each other without struggling. And again, I am your host, Shay, and this is Shay's Unfiltered Podcast. And I'm out.